Hey guys, welcome back to Defeating Hair Loss. Tonight we're going to talk about different business models of hair transplant clinics. Now, you might have seen me on David Musio's channel. You might have seen me on Bobby Dunlap's channel. It's about hair as well. And what I like to kind of throw out to the viewers, to people that have hair loss, is not you should go here, you should go there, you should choose this doctor, that. We really don't promote any specific doctor or doctors. We like for patients to kind of do their own homework, and we like for patients to realize who the better doctors are, because this is very much an art. It's about 50% science, 50% art. It's not easy to do hair transplants as a specialty. That's why a lot of doctors aren't specialists. So what are those business models? Number one, this is pretty easy. You're gonna know who I'm talking about, and I'm not gonna name any names because I never do, is the big box companies. There's a couple, and they do a boatload of advertising. One in particular owns even a non-surgical wig company who a lot of my friends work for, and I respect them, and they do very good work. And if you're into non-surgical, definitely just Google non-surgical hair and they'll pop up. Now, these big box models are all about sales and marketing, which kind of turns me off. Reason for that is because it's all about the numbers, and we all know that. So there's a lot of marketing dollars that has to be converted to leads. You have to push the button, you have to put in your email, you have to fill out a consultation form. I mean, that's the same for any of these models I'm going to talk about, but the numbers are too much numbers. There's no real individuality, in my opinion. So the bigger box companies hire doctors, and those doctors are not owners, they're employees, and they need to do a certain amount of surgeries a day in order to make their money as a doctor. So that doesn't work for me. Now, a lot of these doctors are my friends as well, as I've been around a while in this business. I don't have any bad word to say about them. They're decent doctors. They're just doing too many surgeries at the same time. The second example is what my friends like to call Kmart hair doctors. Now, this is kind of interesting. There's different types of doctors out there, cosmetic doctors, plastic surgeons, med spa owners, dermatologists that were approached by different medical device companies that sell machines and robots that do FUE procedures. So the sales pitch is, hey doc, you've been doing, eyes and noses and breasts and all different things, and you're pretty well known in the industry, and you're pretty good at what you do, but I see you don't do hair transplants. And then that doctor says, oh man, a friend of mine got into hair transplants really hard, had to go through a fellowship, spend some time, and I'm pretty successful. I don't have the time for that. No, hold on one second, doc. I've got just what the doctor ordered, no pun intended. And they bring out, the pamphlets, the brochures, the PowerPoints, and they start talking about the different machines that you see out there marketed as the holier than thou, best state-of-the-art ever machine to extract the grafts. I won't get into the names of the machines, you can figure that out. And they sell that machine to that doctor, and then they even sell them a marketing package where they have before and after photos. The problem is that doctor's never been trained how to do hair transplants. That machine company sometimes even tells them he has connections in the industry where they can send nurses in, technicians in to do the work. So that's why I call it Kmart hair doctors, because the doctor's doing a little too much of everything. He's doing noses on Monday, he's doing breasts on Tuesday, he's doing boobs, I guess that's the same thing, on Thursday, and he's doing hair on Friday. So that doesn't work for me either. The third one is called my gypsy hair transplant doctors. This is very interesting. So friends of mine in the industry, I know some that have been successful and made some money, are starting their own businesses in hair transplants. And they go, they've done this for bigger companies and they know the industry. So they're out there doing the marketing, the promotion. They themselves have had hair transplants, and they all think they're smarter than doctors, which I would argue that. I don't think I'm smarter than a doctor. I didn't go to medical school. So these guys start their own businesses, and they find that business comes to them because of the way that they market, whether it's pay-per-clicks or on social media. They come up with names that are kind of generic. So they won't say, like, for instance, Dr. Dan McGrath's a friend of mine. Everybody knows that. McGrath Medical is obvious. Dr. Ziering in LA is a good friend of mine. Ziering Medical is Dr. Ziering. These names will come up like, advanced something, or whatever, has to do with hair, advanced hair loss or hair loss advanced, or, unique hair transplants, something like that, where there's no specific doctor that's kind of owning the company. It's the businessman. So then they have to go out and they have to set up which city they're going to go into. They have to hire a bunch of nurses, and then they have to go out and find doctors to do the work. Normally what they'll do is they'll move from city to city. So they'll do a week in LA, they'll do a week in Seattle, they'll do a week in Chicago, and that's why I call them gypsies. So the doctors are out there, they're getting a nice paycheck for the week, maybe they have a couple different doctors. But my question is, if the doctor was that good, why isn't the doctor doing it in his hometown, sleeping in his bed every night with his family, waking up, going to work with an easy commute, and not having to get on airplanes and live in hotels and go to different cities? So I seriously questioned that business model. Of course, number 4 is the one you're going to all know, that is my favorite, which I call mom and pop boutique clinics that are board certified. So these are the doctors that I've talked about throughout the country, friends of mine, doctors in Long Island, Connecticut, Chicago, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Miami, and Austin, Texas. These doctors have been doing this a long time. They stand behind their work. What I call mom and pops, they do 1, maybe close to 2 surgeries a day. Some of them do like 1.3 or 1.4 because on certain days they'll do 1, and then other days they'll do 2. They don't want to burn out their staff, and of course, you don't want to burn out your doctor. These doctors have been in those cities, in those markets for a long time. They're very well connected with all the other medical communities in each city. So the dermatologists are referring their patients. The cosmetic surgeons are referring their patients. I mean, these doctors constantly want to attend best practices in regards to conventions and whatnot, so they can stay on top of state of the art. Most of them are doing both FUE and FUT, offering you that unbiased opinion of which would work better for you. They're big believers in using the medication, and they're not so motivated to put you in for surgery within a week. They want to get you prepped and ready to go. So obviously that's my favorite one. That's the one that I've been spending a lot of my time with over the last 25 years. And I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.